if my sound is going through. Anyone watching, if you can hear me, say something. Fuck. Check. Hello, say something. Yep. Yep. Alright, what's on them then? If they don't, it's on them. Okay, they can hear something. I pulled the stream up and heard myself. Well, I'll try. Oh, we go in the J chat? Just tell me where to go. I don't know what I'm doing. Sure, you're the boss. You go there, I'll follow you. Sounds good. Oh, apparently I'm very quiet. Let me, Is this better? Just somebody let me know. Yeah, it's on the Discord. Apparently, I lowered the stream volume, but we'll see if this works. Alright. Got Mr. Brick. Oh, Noof's here just to be a dick, probably, right? Scared him off. Awesome. So I can pull up. No, we'll leave it on this for now. Yeah, I think Fuzz is going to be joining us, right? Perhaps. Okay, so currently we have Ranger Jace doing the excellent back-end stuff that I'm too stupid to do on my own. And we have Mr. Brick Wall here with us. And I'm Mr. HFFO, and we're. I don't know if you guys have done much scouting or looking at this draft, but it's looking like a chaotic one from what I'm seeing. I think from the mocks I'm seeing, it's after I don't know how many picks, but I doubt they're going to be a great average. It does seem like no one really knows that much about who's going where. After the recreates especially, the first gens are it's really a point of preference, right? Like who you fit more in when you scout, who you like talking to more, and can see fitting your LR culture. And unless someone's in every LR in the league, so noof, I doubt people would have all the inside information, right? Yeah, it's definitely there are the recreates in this draft, and they're by and large the strongest people in this draft from what I've seen. I haven't really seen a lot of standout new creates in terms of like media or anything. I've seen a lot of them making a lot of things, but not necessarily anything like long or quality. I think a lot of it is they'll need a lot of guidance and learning about the SHL, which is totally understandable. I remember joining and just being completely lost, so fair enough for sure. And I believe are we good to announce the pick here? Yeah, I'm gonna say, damn it, Detroit. I could have went 4 for 4. All right, and yeah. So with the first overall pick, the Anchorage, what are they? The Ships. The Anchorage Ships are going to select Mr. D. Jobin, right defenseman. I got to be honest, I don't really know D. Jobin. B. Jobin. Yeah. So I have a question though. Like, when you start going through the Jobins, do they decrease in quality as they go through the letters? So like A Jobin was the best, and they just get progressively worse over time. Yeah, that tracks. Okay, so D Jobin is 155 flat. So this is we're calling a 10 out of 10 best pick of the draft. Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm sure when you're picking pick one, you're taking the person you like most in the draft. They obviously know this person, and I'm sure it'll be a good fit. Are we good for pick two? I can do that. Perfect. So yeah, pick one was D Jobin to the Anchorage Ships. Yeah. I don't know how to do that. Oh, I can scare it here. I can do that. Okay. Yep. Uh, sorry. What did you want me to do here? Sounds good. Very talented people. We're talking to Les Spoils specifically. Sorry. All right. So yeah, with the second pick, we have the Yukon Malamutes selecting Theodore Larson, Zima. Zima is a recreate. Was playing on San Francisco Pride. I think his player's doing his last season there. Just a great person to talk to. Always a friendly individual. Yeah, I think it's a great pick. I think they'll love him in Yukon. All 12 people. Yeah, it delays a bit. I think there's a stream delay. I don't know if I put it there or it's automatically there. Yeah. You can tell. I haven't tried the Twitch streaming to make a living yet. But yeah, I think this is a great pick. I like Zima a lot. I think he's a great guy. I think Yukon's got a bunch of great people there with Noof and Flu running the show. I think they're gonna. I think they'll love it there. I don't know if they're a contending team this season. They got a really strong top line coming into the year, but there are some definitely scarier teams, I think, in terms of depth and overall talent. Also, apparently they only hear me talking. I don't know how to fix that. I don't know how to Yeah, so in case anyone thinks I've been having a one-sided conversation, it's not true. Brick and Ranger Jace have been saying some very nice things about people, and yeah. I got 2 pings, but I guess they don't know who you are because they can't hear you. So if anyone knows how to fix this, I could definitely do that, but we'll put the draft board back up for now. And yeah, Zima went pick 2 to the Yukon Malamutes. Excellent. But yeah, so pretty much until we fix the issue, I'm just gonna, talk about the picks as they come, and if they give any commentary, I'll try to relay it for the meantime. It's what we're left with at this point. Desktop. Oh, all right. Try that. Say something.
Anybody hear Brick and I?
Hello, can you hear us? Hello? Hello, hello?
It'll be a bit of a delay, so you gotta wait a sec.
Please clap.
Alright, someone add me on Discord if you can hear them, please.
We're talking.
Does that mean that nobody heard my honorary scree?
That's correct. No one heard you scree.
Damn.
Oh, they hear us. Good. Alright.
Okay, perfect. We're in show
awesome.
now.
Hi, I'm Brick.
Hi, I'm Ranger Jace.
And I'll tell you what, that was like a solid 10 minutes of just absolute gold you all missed. It'll never come back. We'll never do it again.
Truly, it would have made Robin Williams blush with how comedic how genius your comedy was.
Jace had some poetry that would... Not a single dry face in the room.
Yeah, it was kind of like the Raven by Edgar Allan Poe, but it was called The Falcon. It's really touching.
HFFO, can you try rotating between the display recent and display full? Because I did update the draft board, and it's not showing currently.
Yeah, neither are showing. Yeah,
There we go.
it's got the Yukon there, right?
Yep,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
exactly
alright.
what I was looking for.
So, are we good for pick 3? Or you let me know?
Yep.
All right.
Alright, change your screen back.
Yeah, so pick 3, Vancouver is going to be taking the center Meta Knight, which is Spooked, the Minnesota co-GM. Spooked's a very active guy, good to talk to. We've had some great trade discussions over the past year. Or not year, like season. I think it's a good pick for them.
Yeah, definitely. Getting somebody that knowledgeable in your war is always a super helpful thing, and not to mention how active he as a user he is. It also activity begets activity, so
Also an
Great
ex-HO
pick.
member, of course.
Yeah, you gotta
Under the
love
pleasure
when
of, serving time with Spooked.
you do gotta love when hoes come back and go in the J draft.
Absolutely.
But also, there's been a pretty severe dearth of centers in the past couple drafts, so seeing more centers is a pretty good thing. I'm sure that ties into why he made a center for his team, likely. But yeah, I've noticed myself there's been a lack of centers available.
it's interesting to see how the positions kind of go in waves. You know, for a minute we were at the point where we almost had to start kind of making bots goalies, you know, for backups, and then now we've had to give out warnings this season just because we've had so many goalie recreates.
You mean last draft happened and ruined everything?
So I mean, we're still at the point where I think depending on how this draft goes, we might have every single goalie slot filled in the J. So we'll see.
Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 goalies in this draft. And some really good users too for on them.
Definitely so.
Excited to see where they go.
All right, I'm curious. Does anyone in the chat have any guesses on who the first gen is going to be taken? Just a fun little game. See who can guess who it'll be. Rumors have it you won't get any TP for guessing it, but you can still guess for fun. I can't see the chat, so I don't know. I'm just letting them guess.
I don't know why the stream isn't showing the Vancouver pick again. You might have to swap between those.
Yeah, let me.
Maybe every time I do it, it's making you refresh before it pops up.
Yeah,
on
that's
the
weird.
stream.
Okay, I'll do that before I swap
We'll
the.
get rolling.
Yeah.
But cards should be good for the next pick.
Excellent. I'm lost for a second. Oh,
Welcome to my life.
hi.
There we go.
Yeah, so our next pick, I lost it. Here we go. Is oh god, what team? The Kelowna Knights. Well, my first J team. I hold a special place in my heart. They're taking the first gen of this draft. A fellow Habs fan by the name of Jacques Hammer, the Hammer 43. He's been super active in terms of just getting awareness in the media. He did his own one of his deep dives already. He's been kind of everywhere, getting noticed and being around. I think if you can get him, give him some direction because he's obviously not used to the SHL yet. It's his first time around. He'll be a fantastic pick and definitely be a really good guy in the locker room for activity and getting that energy up.
Yeah, I think it just goes to show you. I mean, with class with this many solid recreates, going this high as a first gen just is a big show of confidence from Kelowna that they have in this player. So, congrats to him. Really impressive feat to go that high. Also, fantastic name.
So I'm getting pinged in the JHO, and I'm trying to figure out what's happening.
ACAP said not to poke the glass of
Oh, so naturally they had to be
now.
assholes. Yeah.
Yes.
Announced picks. Okay, we at 3 and 4.
Oh, sorry. That's my fault.
It is not Morbin time. Please go do something else.
It is not Morbid time. Okay, noted. But yeah, so we're waiting to announce the pick 5 for the Great Falls Grizzlies. Yeah, I mean, if I'm correct, none of these teams really had good seasons last year. That's why they're in the bottom of the draft.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a setback for GFG. A couple seasons ago, they made it to the Cup Finals, but they did so at the cost of their future. So they're still on a slow rebuild plan, but hopefully they've got a decent number of picks these next few drafts. So hopefully things start looking up for them.
Oh, hey, it's me.
But not all the teams at the bottom of this draft necessarily had a terrible season. Anchorage, they missed out on the playoffs due to the 14-team format of the J. If it were just, purely based on the top, teams in the league, they would have made it. But unfortunately, had the bad luck of the draw, being in one of the 4-team divisions.
Yeah, I mean, the J is allegedly a very cyclical league. There would be some teams that would defy that logic entirely. Cough, Newfoundland. But there is definitely an ebb and flow to the success of your team based on the moves you make. And I think GFG, they look. Was it 1 season or 2 seasons ago? They looked really strong and potentially contending. And it comes around and goes, and this is just part of that cycle.
Yeah, I believe it was 2 seasons ago now.
I think so too.
That tracks. Yeah, but our next pick for GFG is
Bobby McGinnis.
Bobby McGinnis. Eric VM, he's another first-gen user. A left wing. We're seeing some first-gen users coming off the board, which I think is great. They're getting noticed. Probably had some good scouting interviews. Yeah, I like this pick because new players are good players.
Yeah, and I can talk a little bit about this one, being in the Great Falls War Room. This was a player who kind of immediately caught the eye. GFG, really seemed like a good fit, both as a user and as a player. Good, power forward, and just a fairly active user, posting on the site, active in the Meet the GM's Discord. So happy to see it again. Always love to see first gens going high, and I think he's going to really help rebuild that locker room in GFG.
Yeah, I fully can see that. I hope they have a good turnaround. And then next on our clock is the Quebec City Citadels.
Just waiting for the swap here. We'll get that card right up.
Yeah, Quebec City is, honestly, if I'm looking at their roster, they probably have the strongest team of the league this season. Just eyeballing it. They have a lot of strong players, a top-tier goalie. Yeah, I think they have a really strong chance at winning a 4-star cup this season.
Definitely agree with that. They had a really strong season last season. Took the eventual champions Detroit to the limit. So, I think they would probably be an early consensus pick.
Should we get
with those gosh darn berserkers.
Yeah, we'll get to them, but they look pretty okay too. Still, did lose the greatest player they've ever had, but it happens.
Patty retired yet?
We can only hope Patty will retire one day. No, I kid. Patty does a good job. He paid me today, so I can't flame him anymore. Sorry, are we good?
No. We should be good to go, yeah.
All right, yeah. Our next pick for QCC is Jack St. Clair, Crazy Mojito. He's a recreate. It's Kyle Sutton of the Edmonton Blizzard, longtime captain. I'm a huge fan of Crazy Mojito. I think he's a great guy. He's great to talk to and bounce ideas off of or talk hockey with. I think they're gonna love him here. It's a great team. We got him together with Raman Aman, who's also on the Blizzard. I think they're gonna love this pick. He's gonna fit that war room really well.
It only takes about 3 minutes to heat up too. Just add water.
True. But it's a fantastic pick for Quebec. I think. I'm a big fan of it.
Absolutely, Mojito's one of my favorite updaters, one of my favorite auditors. Just does a lot around the site to help keep things moving.
Yeah, it doesn't get recognized a lot, but
Yeah, definitely agree with that.
he does a fair amount for sure.
Absolutely does. And that leaves Carolina up next.
Yeah, the Kraken. Just for the record, a fantastic team name. Yeah, I think it predates the Seattle team, I believe, but I love the team name Kraken for sure.
Yeah, they do predate both the Seattle Kraken and the Seattle Argonauts as well. Sorry, Tig, that took me a minute to remember. But next card up should be good to go.
All right, the next card up is another former Edmonton Blizzard, Jimmy Smo, Kyle Murray.
It's actually Kai E. The L is an I.
Yeah, his name's Kyle now. So it's Kai E. Murray, I guess. I feel like Jimmy's got a bit of a specific personality, and you either really like him or you're kind of ambivalent. And they like him in Carolina. I think Jimmy's a fun guy to talk to. He's got a good energy, and seven drafted him at 7. Maybe that's a good luck charm there.
Not sure if he traded up or if he did that on purpose, but
I can tell you that might do.
But I interact a lot with Jimmy too. I think it's a good pick this high. Definitely an active user on the site. It's Simmer both in the SHL, and I believe he also does IIHF simming, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he has like 2 PT passes. The problem is that he often just forgets to use them. So if you could just get him to like
sell one to me, I won't let him. I won't buy it.
Yeah, but if you could just like get him to write on his update page to use it, he should be a great pick. But yeah, that's the Carolina Kraken pick.
See if 7 can bug him enough to get him to do it.
I'm sure 7 can convince him. Also, I don't know if you guys have seen the new banner on the site for the LAP. It's like the cartoon one. It was done by Moosey. But there's one one of the players has like the sleeves on their jersey ripped off, and that's supposed to represent 7 because he's always posting tank top pictures apparently.
I can confirm he does that quite often.
Yeah, I thought it was a fun little tribute added in.
Little fun facts. But next card should be up and good to go.
Yes.
We're rolling now.
Excellent. Our next pick is pick 8 to the main timber, and that will be Powder Miowski, user Andy. He's a recreate. I did read his SMJHL media piece where he talked about how basically anywhere he goes kind of ends up winning. He didn't specifically say it was because of him, but it was supposed to be the implication of the article, is my understanding. So, if you like winning, I guess, and Maine definitely really needs to, win at some point, right? No shade. Okay, yeah, but Andy's a good pick. I think he's had several players, and they've all been pretty okay. His first player was quite good. He's a left wing. I think they need some offensive players in Maine. Yeah, I think it'll be a good pick for them.
I mean, surely it must have been him. He must have been the reason they kept winning. That's
I
what he wants. So,
It's,
I mean,
if you're
surely
not
he
using
wouldn't.
anecdotes to describe, things, what are you using? Like stats, like your juke or something? We don't do that here.
Junior.
No nerding allowed.
No jukes allowed.
Yeah.
Deeks only. Wrong sport.
You know what advanced analytics get you? The Oakland Athletics. Boom roasted.
I thought you were going to say dizzy, but... next card should be up and good to go for Regina.
Excellent. Yes.
And, it's jerk time, I guess. Our beloved events coordinator.
Yeah, so Jert is taking right defenseman Hodor, no known last name. The user is BBJYGM. Was a DFA with Newfoundland this past season. Really, I think he performed pretty well in the playoffs from what I remember. And, he had some excellent Hodor comments in the locker room. So he's coming in with, more TP than most of the other people here, which I think will help them, provide them with a push this season, as their rookie will be a bit further along in development. And he's a great guy to have in the locker room for sure.
Yeah, definitely a really strong recreate here, so I think so. Just easy, solid pick for Regina.
It's kind of
One
weird.
those power users around the league.
It's kind of weird because we did see like two first gens go at like 4 and 5. And I thought maybe we'd be seeing like a bunch of first gens. It's been nothing but recreate since.
Yep, you love to see those locker rooms that are really looking for, some fresh blood. And just, looking for some new people around the league that can just bring fresh faces around.
But yeah, that's Hodor going 9 to the Regina not Mooses. Or is it Mises?
I think we're looking at Mooses, but next card should be up and ready to go.
All right, pick 10 is the Colorado Raptors. And they will be taking Isaac 41, user C9 Van, another recreate. Is a right defenseman who's focused on passing and positioning. So, a lot of teams are looking for that playmaking from the back end. I think it's a good pick. I don't really know the user that well, but I recall seeing that there's another user that only wants to play with him. So sounds like you're kind of getting a 2-for-1 with this user. So that's that never hurts either.
Yeah, that makes it brings an interesting dynamic. I've seen that as well. We'll have to see how that potential drama unfolds. But just under the microscope, this pick I think is another really solid pick. Just another good user, good recreate. You know what you're getting. Solid earner, good locker room presence. Good pick by Colorado.
Gonna hit 425, very likely for sure. Yeah, that's a 41. The user C9 Van going to the Colorado Raptors. Next on the clock, we have the Nevada Battleborn. Nevada's another team with a strong team this upcoming season. They got a good core coming up. One of my favorite users is on the team in Blix 900. I think they got a solid chance at being a contending team this season as well, looking alongside like Quebec and some other teams. But here's hoping this pick is one that will help push them over the board and show some success with that team and fit that locker room.
Yeah, Nevada has suffered from a little bit of bad luck when it comes to FHM. So hopefully with this switch to 8, they'll reverse that fortune a little bit because they are routinely putting out strong teams. What? Haven't quite gotten the result that they want.
It is. So the simpler explanation is that there's been one specific team that's had stupid good luck in FHM, just like absurdly. I don't know if it's their bad luck, but or the entire league is bad luck comparatively. But it's been a bit of fatigue in terms of people tired of seeing Newfoundland win. So last year was a bit of a relief for that, and I think it's always good to have new teams winning, and new players getting chances to reach that pinnacle of the SMJHL.
Absolutely, it definitely always is, especially to close out an era in the league as well.
Well, I mean, yeah, you lose. Hamlet steps down, and they lose in the finals the year after. So you gotta appreciate what he brought. That true winning spirit. That I guess is hard to emulate for some. This is just me throwing shade at Patty because we lost.
I mean, you're welcome to throw shade at Patty whenever you like. I approve it. But next card is up and ready to go.
Yeah, so pick 11, we have Alex Piastri, the user VBOTA17. Another recreate, old user who's come back recently. He's playing a right wing with a puck handling and shooting accuracy as his strengths. So definitely likely a sniper or some kind of dangler. And he's going to the Nevada Battleborn. I think he'll fit right in. Definitely, if he plays up to his potential, he'll be a great user. He's had some great players before. A while ago, I think he was the Texas Renegades GM at one point. I might be wrong on that, but I do think that's true. So that's what's important. Yeah, I think it's a good pick.
Definitely. I'm going to step away for one moment. I'll be right back, fellas.
Sounds good. But absolutely, still early, this early in the draft, you really can't go wrong. Love to see more Formula One fans out and about as well.
Yeah, I mean, people who like watching cars go really fast in circles, you love to see it.
Well, that's more NASCAR than it is Formula One. It's not quite a circle. Maybe it's more of a square.
They look the same to me.
I understand. I get it. I was once a hater too.
Maybe it's because I'm a terrible driver, That's probably it.
I really think it's one of those sports that works for my limited attention span.
Isn't it really long?
No, it's barely over an hour. Maybe an hour and a half at most.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, my kids usually end up turning it off anyway, so...
You fall asleep in the chair?
I wish I fell asleep in the chair. That would be more enjoyable than screaming and everyone jumping on top of you.
At least you know you're loved, right?
Absolutely. But next card should be up and ready to go.
Yeah, so our next pick on the clock is the Quebec City Citadels. And they will be taking Tam Cove, the brother of Nevik Cove, also in the draft. The user Hordle, a recreate. Was a goalie for the Edmonton Blizzard. Retired this season. Looking like a puck possession forward. Good at passing and getting open. I imagine if the GM of the team and you have the same name, they're gonna love you in the team. Gonna get along for sure. I think everyone saw this as a Quebec pick coming, and it'll go really well for them. They'll be a fan of it.
Another solid pick. Getting 2 picks in the first round is, for a team that's already pretty strong, is gonna really probably blow the doors open for Quebec. And I think it's safe to say they've hit on both their picks. So, scary team gets scarier.
Yeah. Absolutely. Portal's one of those guys that's just known around the league. Whether it's the SHL, ISFL, PBE, just happens to be everywhere. And he knows his stuff. And I'm a sucker for Kermit PFPs, so good job, Portal.
Everyone does love Kermit.
Any PBE GMs are in the stream? Draft me. Pay me a lot. Green wall. Let's go. Don't look at my stats from last season.
Stats are just numbers.
Which are made up.
TP is forever.
Very true. Next card up and ready to go.
So next up, the Newfoundland Berserkers are taking, to nobody's great surprise, likely, Rasmus Bergling, the user JNH. JNH, short for Jordan Nugent Hall, is a great user. He's been around a long time, holds various league positions. He's the co-GM of the Chicago Syndicate, and just a great guy to talk to. Smart user, knows a lot about hockey. He's a Leaf fan though, so you got to take everything he says with a little grain of salt. But I love the pick for them. They love JNH in Newfoundland, and he's a great guy for sure.
Yeah, he must be holding something over Patty to get him to take him this soon in the draft.
Everyone's got something on Patty.
It's just too much fun. Don't worry, Patty, we love you. It looks like we're back to the Yukon.
Yeah, the Yukon Malamutes back on the clock. The last pick of the first round.
Let's see, card is in. Who will it be?
Yeah, so the Yukon Malamutes are proud to select Shea O'Connell, the user legend, another recreate. Made a defenseman who's good at getting open and passing, so likely another kind of offensive or two-way defenseman. I don't really know the user legend, but I do love seeing the dog come up on the screen.
When you see a username like that in the forum, it kind of makes you stop and you go, wow, that's a nice clean name, no numbers, no extra on it.
Yeah.
I had to have been here pretty decently early to snag something like that.
It
Guy
does
just happens to be a legend.
It does make you wonder, is the username legend compensating for something? Like, if they have to tell you they're a legend, is it because they're not really, and they is there something there? I guess we'll have to find out as they progress through the SMJHL.
Absolutely. Will he in fact be a legend? Only time will tell.
Yeah, so we are now at the start of round 2. The Vancouver Whalers are on the clock. They've picked already, but we'll tell you when they're on the clock, so it builds suspense.
We're catching up. We're doing a good job. We're only 40 minutes in here.
We're getting there.
I finished one beer, so I'm doing good. Pacing
Well,
myself.
I'm not terribly far behind.
And you could hear all of us at this point. Card is in whenever we're good to go.
Okay, I was just turning my Discord notifications off as I received an angry message from Fuzz.
Just wants us to let him in, I guess.
No, he said turn your notifications off. So the next pick of the draft, the Whalers will be selecting Antonio Fluso, the user Massive Coiler, a recreate. Another defenseman with pass and puck handling. So, that ability to be a puck mover from the back end seems to be a common theme in this draft. It's always a great thing to have. He also did a article talking about he was ranking the prospects and talking about their names. Just kind of missed on some of the names, if we're being honest. Underrated some really good ones in this draft, but you do love seeing a recreate comes in and makes a big article to make money and show you they're putting the effort in for sure.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with the amount of pre-draft media we were seeing this time around. Sometimes people, they kind of get on their team and then they start kind of wondering where to do the media, and that's like, you just missed that double window. I was happy to see a lot of articles getting thrown out there this time.
They will get their first media doubled though, so they still have that. But yeah.
True.
And we have Anchorage back on the clock, so the ships are going to be picking at pick 16.
Here's a question for the YouTube chat. When do you think we'll see our first draft trade? I'm honestly surprised we haven't seen one yet. Love to see predictions for when we'll see a trade, if at all. Usually the bane of these drafts is the number of trades.
I mean, a trade would help us catch up. Like a nice extended trade talk session. But I think we've already had a trade that's not reflected on the board yet. If I am correct, not, I think 21 is actually belonging to Detroit and was traded to QCC earlier today.
Is correct, yes.
Yep. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and change that if that happened earlier. So we'll update the board there.
I can link you. Do you want me to link you to the entry draft post? That's been fully updated. If you want that.
I probably should do that. I did send it to ACAP earlier, but... and all HL. So I'll just grab it there, no biggie. But the next card is in and ready to go.
Excellent. Yeah, so at pick 16, the Anchorage Armada, that's what their team is, are selecting Sean Davies, a first-gen user by the name of Running Man 434. He, is a defensively focused defenseman. So you love to see those users coming in who can actually defend. I love that style of defenseman. I think it's going to be a great fit for that team. I don't know if I've seen them in the media section. Maybe they do graphics and I haven't noticed. It would make sense since Ragnar took him. He's definitely on that graphic side.
Yeah, I'm looking through his post history now. See, it looks like he's got a couple media posts in the J side of things. So no graphics quite yet, but definitely active. Definitely padding that bank account. Looks like he's going to be a really solid earner. So I think it's a really good grab. I think Anchorage usually has pretty good eyes for first gen, so good pick here.
Yeah, I'm hoping all of the picks are going to end up being good picks. That's my hope, and we're going to have just adding more great users to the site, and we'll need to expand so I can lose some of the talent on my team. That's the ideal. Find an excuse to expose noobs to the expansion draft. But next on the clock is the Kelowna Knights.
Yep, Kelowna is up next. I was just updating a couple of things over here.
I was questioning because it said Vancouver, but it's Kelowna at 17.
Yep, card should be ready in just a couple seconds.
And Kelowna is a team that has they do have the greatest prospect and player of all time in SHL history, Ben Waters Jr. You can tell this is true because it's reflective in his $35.5 million contract he received this season. Simply no other reason could exist besides him being the greatest to receive that kind of money.
No comment. No comment. But the Kelowna card should be up and good to go.
Yeah, so it's 17. Kelowna's taking left defenseman John Bell, another first-gen user by the name of Sam Bam 229. And it looks like he likes to bam with checking and hitting at 12 apiece as his highest attributes. Physical defensemen who like to play on their own end. I'm a fan of that. I think he's going to be a great fit in Kelowna, and I think they're going to a good player here.
Always good to see a player go that more physical route. A lot of people you see him going, super high offense, trying to go for those big, flashy stats, but always love seeing those gritty players.
Yeah, I mean, like, power forwards and defensive defensemen are some of my favorite players to watch in real life. I do personally question their effectiveness in a sim, but who knows? Maybe FHM 8's different.
I think that's what I'm most excited for, with switching to 8 and the banning of test simming, I'm really hoping we see a lot more diversity in player builds and people truly kind of going the route they want and not, having to worry about, meta this, meta that, but what kind of player do you want? You want to goon it up, throw everything in fighting? Hey, let's go for it.
I will say, this offseason, Chicago did have a player who went going through the regression. Has started to invest some TP into fighting. So maybe if the enforcers are good, it's going to be a good thing for them. You'll notice Juke has added some fighting to his update page. And I hope it works out for him. I hope he goons it up this season like he wants to.
Hope he wins a couple fights.
No, I hope he loses all of them but fights a lot. That's the ideal.
That's fair enough. Great Falls Grizzlies. The pick and the card is in.
Yeah, pick 18. The Grizzlies are on the clock. They will be selecting Neil Newland, user Halsey, a recreate, but not that Halsey, I don't think, right?
Not that Halsey,
Yeah.
the other Halsey.
Different Halsey, not the Hamilton GM. It's a left defenseman whose key strengths are 14 and getting open and passing. Really just wants to focus on that offensive end and being really good at those specific things. Has a clear path in mind, I imagine, for what they're looking for and trying to, be good at those playmaking skills that are, so coveted on the back end.
Yeah, and I got to know Halsey a little bit in the Montreal locker room. He was a pick there with his last player. Unfortunately, fizzled out a little bit, but he's really hoping to stay active this time and be a good earner. So if he does do that, I think this is a really great pick for GFG.
Yeah, I hope it works out for them. And yeah, so next on the picking block will be Carolina, the Kraken at pick 19.
All right, card should be up. Good to go.
Yeah, at pick 19, the selection will be Axel Kirby, user Otrabor13. He's a recreate long-time user. He was around in, I think his first player was a Season 4 player. I think he was in the Hall of Fame. If not, he was in the Hall of Very Damn Good. And he looks like he's making an offensive forward this time around. His last user was Theo Morgan, who my understanding was just also incredible and likely on a first ballot Hall of Fame path. Getting him at 19 seems like a maybe a steal, at the very least a very, very good pick.
Yeah, I think we're starting to hit that point in the draft where you're going to see some recreates, especially. Going lower than you think they, a user of their caliber would, but it's just such a fairly deep draft this time around compared to some recent drafts that you're going to see some of these great users falling pretty relatively low. So it's a great pickup by Carolina.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Otrabor. I think it's going to be a great pick for Carolina. He'll fit in there and do excel as he, generally does with his players. But next on the clock, we will have Regina back up with pick 20. See what Jert's up to a day after the Montreal Canadiens had quite the day with the draft. Maybe he'll have some craziness for us as well.
Bruins fan, the most exciting part of the draft for me was that the Bruins now have 2 goalies in their pipeline with last names of Dick and Bussy. So that's pretty cool.
If we have any users under the age of 18,
hey, those are real last names. I've done nothing wrong.
I'd like to apologize for absolutely nothing.
Love
I don't even get what would possibly be funny about that. I thought it was cool that they had this school, so I don't know what you're...
They're just cool sounding names. Yeah, what else could it possibly be?
Well, speaking of Jert and picks, it's ready to go.
Yeah, so at pick 20, Regina is selecting left defenseman Brendan LaRue, user Schmurf, recreate, focusing on the reading, so like kind of the mind of the game, being really good at offensive and defensive read. You love a defenseman who can kind of sense things coming and focus on being where the play needs to be. I think it's definitely a unique build from what we've seen so far. I hope it'll work out for them. I've heard about Schmurf. I've never talked to Schmurf, but I've heard good things. Yeah, I think it'll be a good pick for him.
Thinking about it, you don't see a lot of really true two-way defensemen in the SHL. You got a lot of your kind of quarterback types, and you got a lot of your stay-at-home defensemen, but it's a little bit rare to see that really good two-way defenseman, which kind of seems like what he's going for here. So interested to see how that shakes out.
Yeah, absolutely. And next on the clock, we'll have pick 21 with the Detroit Falcons. Scree, I guess.
Big Scree. Scree all day. Just for some context, I am an OG Falcon.
Define OG.
Original gangster.
Yeah. When were you drafted by the Falcons?
Season 52.
Season 11, first overall pick, Detroit Falcons.
Close enough.
This guy.
Well, it was my first draft.
I'm just saying, you can't call yourself an OG when you're not ancient. You gotta be old as dirt.
I mean, I'm pretty old, just not old as dirt.
Yeah, you're like a new G, I guess,
I guess.
or like a
that's fair.
medium G.
Well, you're not really in the locker room anymore. So.
I wasn't really in the locker room then either. I busted pretty hard.
Fair enough. But either way, pick is in.
The irony of this statement is that the person Detroit is taking at pick 21 is my brother, Boden Jarofsky, user Just Another Hockey Fan, as a first gen. Just put out like a 3,600 word article last night. Yeah, definitely focus on the passing and puck handling for a center. I think if they can keep him motivated and updating, he'll be a good pick for them, and they'll like having him around.
If not, they'll probably personally blame you.
Yeah, I'm used to it.
This is literally your,
Yeah.
actual brother.
This is my older brother, yeah.
Why isn't he on stream?
I invited him, but he was apparently he was going to a meeting tonight to see about scouting for real life hockey.
Detroit?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
He's scouting for yeah. So
For next season already.
yeah, he's trying to get ahead. I got him working for me, so I don't have to do any scouting. Gonna give Ramen some breaks so he doesn't have to work as hard next season.
I believe that was Detroit's first pick under their new management, under this Vax.
Yeah,
taking over the head reins.
that is correct. My apologies for the bust.
Shout out to G, who has stepped down but accomplished a lot in his few seasons with Detroit. Really turned that ship around when he took over. They, I believe, were dead last or second to last in the league.
I mean, is there anything better than winning a title over Newfoundland? That just says everything.
Yeah. Recent history, I don't think there is.
Yeah, and pick 22 is the main timber. Can we get an exclamation chop in the main timber locker room, please? For those who don't know, around the league, chop is used to generally make fun of the timber. But in the locker room, if you type exclamation chop, it's a tree falling down on a person, and on the person is my username. So a little fun thing we have with the timber there.
I believe Timber have never actually beaten Berserkers in a playoff series. Is that
But
correct?
they
Or
have
is it-
this GIF, and that's what matters.
I don't know exactly what the series record is, but I do know it starts with a 0.
Oh, for the century. It's bad.
Well, they will get it one day.
They have to. It has to happen at some point, but it's not good.
And that day they will say that will teach you that no one beats the Timber 59 times in a row.
Well, I mean, last season they did have just one of, if not the best, first-gen user coming in the Great Toe Jam, Emil Egli, who was taken 5th overall this past draft. So if they can mimic that success and find some great users similar to that this season, I think they'll be a solid contender in a year or two coming up when they all come to their peak in the J.
Card is in. Pick is in.
Yeah,
Ready to go.
With pick 22, the main Timber are taking Daniel Swift, first-gen user jump seat, who is a right winger. Strength's not speed with the last name Swift, so that's a little weird, but it's good at getting open and shooting accuracy. I did notice that when they were typing in the SMJHL media, they seem to be like they talked about how they do a lot of writing about their FHM series. So they're very familiar with FHM itself, and really like the system, and I guess excited about building a character within them. I thought this would be one of the first gens taken, just not just for the FHM knowledge, but his clear excitement for this kind of system and using FHM itself for the sim. I think it's gonna be a great pick for the Timber. I think they got a good one here. But next,
You look at such a deep draft at this point.
yeah, truly.
2.5 rounds in, and there's still like a ton of recreates left on the board that it'll push you right into the 3rd round, maybe even the 4th.
Yeah. But our next pick is the St. Louis Scarecrows. I gotta say, of all the names in the SMJHL, Scarecrows are probably one of the things I'm least scared of.
Oof.
That's pretty fair after watching Wizard of Oz a couple of times. Scarecrows get a little old.
Well, was the Scarecrow missing a heart or a brain?
He was missing a brain.
I think he was missing a brain.
Well,
Tin Man was missing a heart.
it is hard to play hockey without a brain. I'm not gonna lie. I've tried it.
I'd argue that one.
Yeah.
That's true.
Your least favorite hockey player here does it all the time.
Zach Cassian does exist.
There it is.
Well,
Tony
speaking of
D'Angelo.
Scarecrows, their pick and card is in.
Yeah, with the 23rd pick, the St. Louis Scarecrows will be selecting left wing Diablo Rose, the recreate user no name. With the enigmatic 15 starting stat in shooting accuracy and a 14 defensive read. As a winger, it's a very unique build. Being solid in their own end, but at the same time, just being able to pinpoint that accuracy. I think very commonly this user was in the mock drafts they had him listed 1st overall. So good luck with that TP you're not getting, but must be really respected in that rookie locker room from what they've talked about and noticed in there so far.
Yeah, the user with a pretty good SHL history behind them too. Especially his recent history coming in with over 33 million in the bank account. Always nice knowing that you're gonna have a player who's going to be buying all the training, supporting max training. As a GM, one less thing you gotta worry about. Just general knowledge of the league too. So it's a great pick at this point in the draft for St. Louis.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great pick for them. It's hard to, this draft, it's hard to miss. It's more so of picking the people you want and enjoy having in your locker rooms.
For sure.
But
there's always that interesting dynamic too of obviously with the recreate you're usually more certain of what you're getting, but when you get that first gen and you establish that connection, that could be someone who you can have coming back to your team for years potentially, IRL years.
Well, I think it's also that you're adding new blood to your locker room, so it's new people. It doesn't get stale.
Right.
You're building further connections, and it's always a great thing to have new users coming in. But pick 24 on the clock is the Newfoundland Berserkers.
In.
The Newfoundland Berserkers will be selecting at 24 user Brennan Kennedy III. This is a recreate BK 1689. I believe this last player was at one point in time the highest scoring defenseman of the FHM era. A user with a lot of history in the SHL. Goes back a long time. Has GM'd multiple teams. I believe was a Falcons GM at one point. Likely an SHL team. I think they're gonna really like this pick. I know that they like the user in that locker room. He created yesterday, so a bit of a late arrival, but I think they're probably really excited to be able to get him here.
Another strong power user here, but just really solid grab. Like I said, I don't know if I don't know if he's going to be in the worm, but yeah, I mean, the amount of knowledge in what I assume being Newfoundland's worm is insane.
You would think there's a lot of knowledge, but there's also juke there, just dropping the general IQ by about 20 points. So
yeah, well, Corey's there too. Hi, Corey.
I tried to forget Corey was there, but yeah, you're right. But yeah, so next on the clock will be the Nevada Battleborn again. I did actually recently learn that Battleborn is a type of ram, not like a weird Viking kind of thing.
Wait, it's like literally a type of ram.
Yeah, I guess there's a ram called Battleborn, which I thought was odd, but kind of cool. That's why the logo's a ram there.
I just thought it was one of those where it's like, pick a logo that kind of fits it. But interesting to know. Didn't know that.
Yeah. But weird that to this point we have had no trades so far.
No live trades during the draft.
Yeah, no live trade. Yeah, they must have done it before, got all the trading out, and wanted to save us from, the pain of trying to fix everything.
But Nevada's pick is in. Oh wait.
Also, Jace, I don't know if you see, but
24.
24 is having a bit of an error there. But pick 25, the Nevada Battleborn will be taking the Danger Zone, Paul Peterson, a recreate, former SHL head office member. He's done a lot of things all over the site. I believe SMJHL commissioner was one of those positions as well. I'd assume he is. I'd assume he has a large bank. He's playing center with a passing and puck handling focus. A known user. People generally like him. Great guy. He's been around a while. I think Nevada's gonna like what they're getting in TDZ here.
Great user. Took a big break from the site. So I'm glad to see he's come back. Keith Lee's previous player. One of those. With me as a fairly new user, coming on a year here. One of the first kind of big power players. I kind of started recognizing their name just because in fantasy and just on winning teams showing up a lot. So TZ definitely knows how to build a strong player.
Yeah, I'm a bit of an older user myself. It's been about 12 years total. I predate the new site, but he's definitely been around a long time, and a power user is a good way to describe him for sure. So at pick 24, I guess instead of getting Kennedy, they're going to forfeit. I think Jace wanted to make sure the Falcons had a chance to get him, so he's not letting them have that pick. But the Berserkers are back on the clock, so maybe they can take him again and make sure they get him. I'm kidding, he's not actually forfeited.
We have not had any picks cost yet.
Yeah, no one's gone over the limit yet.
Oh, I think I know why.
But yeah, the Berserkers, I think this is their third pick this draft. Definitely some quantity. They're going to need to fill some holes they have on the team. Um, they lost probably their number one center, definitely their number one defenseman last year. And the losing IAs did hurt them a fair bit as they had some solid ones, which had propelled them to a fairly lengthy contending period. So filling those holes will be a huge benefit for them for sure.
But pick is in. I think I was able to update that little NA area.
Excellent. Yeah, so at 26, the Newfoundland Berserkers are going to be taking Pope Coswe Jr., the user Coswe. Pope, Popers as we know him, he was a Berserker before, kind of a J-only player, got to about 425 TPE. I think he's close or got some records on the team. He performed really well on the team. Great guy when he's around. Was an assistant captain this past season. They love the Pope in Newfoundland.
We don't see a ton of these. I guess we call them J lifers, but they usually are really well liked in the locker room. So it's tough to get upset about that. We obviously want everyone to have long careers both in the J and in the SHL, but you also can't put a price on bringing good community value. So
I mean, so there's I feel like, I don't know if it's recent, but there's been a trend of like a fair number of users who only want to play in the J. I guess because you get to that 425 cap and you can just hang out for the 4 seasons, and that's less of a grind than the long career, which can last like 2 years, 3 years, 4 years in real life. But it's understandable because it is a grind for sure, and if that's what you like, we're all just here to have fun, right?
yeah, and it's something we keep an eye on in JHO, just because if it were to become a really prevalent thing, it would cause issues on the SHL side of things. Obviously, we feed into it, but it's not as common as a lot of people think it is. But at the end of the day, we want people to have fun and to enjoy the SHL experience as they want to. So we try to combat it in certain ways. Like we recently axed the 5th year of eligibility in the J, and that was to both help with that issue and to try to kind of spring up some call-ups, and I think that's worked pretty well. So yeah, everyone enjoys the league differently, and we don't want to try to dictate how people do that.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Our next pick on the clock is 27 to the Great Falls Grizzlies. We've said their name a couple times, right? It's this 3rd time, I think.
Well, that sounds right. Yeah, I think so.
Time.
Yep. My quick browsing through the list.
Shout out to real quick in the YouTube chat to McCool. He's gonna win the cup.
I agree. He is going to win the cup.
I think didn't Mikul win a cup last season because someone won it for him?
That's true. Someone did win it on his behalf.
Yeah, that's you gotta love when you're such a respected user. Someone wins the cup for you. Mikul, love to see it.
Great guy, great user, and let's see who Great Falls picked.
I bet you it's someone great.
Guarantee it.
At 27, the Great Falls Grizzlies select center Terry Leviathan. I had to find the first name because his name's big. User Trella. Trella was the Tampa Bay Barracuda GM for a couple seasons, if I am remembering correctly.
More than a couple. He was my player's GM for almost my entire SHL career.
Oh, so it's been like 30 years in real life then.
Basically, for someone that's younger than 30, it's basically been 30 years.
But I believe
sure
Trella.
He feels that way too.
Yeah, Trella was the GM that led them to the 0-50 legendary season. But really, kind of set the core of that Tampa Bay team to what it is today. They made the finals last season. really set up Dwight with some excellent pieces. I think it's a great pick at 27 in the draft. They're going to like him in GFG a lot. Getting open and shooter accuracy focus on the center, so probably more of a center sniper build. I think they're going to like it.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely fantastic pick. Really excited for Great Falls in this one. I think this is one where, looking at his page, he just created 3 days ago, so I think this is one where, had he created, say, right after the trade deadline or right after the playoffs had ended, I think you'd probably see him going higher. But, so many users already on the board, it's one where you just kind of can't keep track of all of them, so I think Great Falls is probably ecstatic to get up here at 27.
And, next on the clock is 28, and, I don't really know which way they're going to go. There's a lot of good users left in the draft. It truly is a mystery to what Quebec is going to do with this pick. Do you have any thoughts? Like, I don't know. It's just there's so many options available.
Yeah. Ooh. I have to guess. I don't even know if I could guess. It's that difficult to pick.
I mean, I'm probably between Bruins 10, because Bruins to Quebec would just make a lot of sense. Or maybe Evok, I guess, her player to the team GGMs might be. But I'm leaning Bruins, I think, if we had to guess.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I follow in that second part, or the first part.
I'm not allowed to comment. I already looked.
I mean, yeah, he might have looked. We have no idea where this pick is going, so it's all speculation. If anyone's got any thoughts, please let us know. This is probably this is where the chaos starts on the draft right here. Everything was kind of known before. If you didn't have like a perfect mock draft, you were just losing TPE because you didn't study. But this is where the chaos begins.
So who's ready to find out?
Not me.
I need more time to prepare.
At pick 28, are we good?
We're good.
It's going to be Nevik Cove, Evok drafting herself at the last pick of the second round. A right defenseman who focuses on puck handling and checking. That solid two-way defenseman. Just another one of our Quebec power users. Quebec has a lot of just like top tier users in this league, which in a bubble is kind of crazy because Quebec's not that big population wise. But just a lot of really great users come from Quebec, and she's one of the foremost amongst them. Longtime GM of Quebec. I think they love having her there. It's her team. She's going to do great there and build a great player. And the strong getting stronger with their already strong team and a great draft today.
Queen of Buffalo coming home to Quebec. His new player, so excited to see how she does there. But what can you say other than Quebec? It's just every pick they're just getting scarier.
Yeah, I mean, so we are now at the start of the third round with the Vancouver Whalers on the clock.
I can't believe we've gotten through 2 rounds without any trades. I'm sure Seven is off somewhere furious.
He's probably trying.
He probably is trying. I have not looked at the trade discussion channel. I'm assuming he's in there.
I haven't checked any others. Just glued to my phone, like always. And my 2 screens here with like 30 different windows open. Rugsy knows what I'm talking about. The pick is in to start the third round.
Starting the third round, the Vancouver Whalers are going to be pleased to select Liz Troya, user Malawi, first gen. Left defenseman who focuses on acceleration and offensive read. Weaknesses are hitting and stick checking at 9, so kind of like an all-around kind of player, likely a two-way focused defenseman. I like that kind of build. I think it's going to be good. I haven't seen the user around that much, but I don't really scout for the J. But at this part of the draft, I think if you're taking them, you got a belief you could turn them into a good user and help them out, and you probably had a good scouting conversation, and you're looking forward to working with them.
Yeah. I mean, just as much as I love the kind of out there crazy build, I do love seeing a nice balanced build as well. Like, best
We have
strength is
we've yet to see a strength of fighting in this draft. Do you think there's someone in here with one?
hard to say. I mean, there's got to be at least one, right? This class this size, there's got to be one.
There's usually one person who comes in and says, "I want to beat people up," and I would really like to see that. I want to see a fighter in here. Some team would get an enforcer to protect their star players. I'm hoping there's one in here. If there's not, you all get a free redistribution. Somebody make a fighter.
Rookies do get a 50 TP free distribution at the end of their first season, so you want to try it and then it turns out to be garbage, you will have a way to change it. At least some of it.
Very true. Pick number 30 for Anchorage is in.
Yeah, so the Anchorage Armada are pleased to select at pick 30 Bruno Toyo. Tuyo? User Bruins10, the recreate. It's his brother is Otrabor13, so they're real life siblings. I don't think they went to the same team, but just a fun fact. Left winger is focused on offensive rated puck handling. Weaknesses are hitting and face-offs. So kind of that offensive forward kind of mold we've been seeing fairly commonly this draft. I like goals, so we could be looking at a goal-hungry J in 2 to 3 seasons, which I'd be excited for. I think it's a great pick. His last user was Casper's Claude, who I think he just retired, but he was a season 48 user. So it's been a while since he's been to the J. Probably some new changes, and I think it's going to be exciting to see how he does. I think it's a great pick for him, though.
Personally, one of my most aesthetically pleasing names in the draft. Just looks good. It's a good-looking name.
I mean, I don't know. Like Meta Knight, I enjoy the name Meta Knight. I think it's a solid one. It could also, if you mispronounce it really quickly, it could be Meta Knight, and that's you're getting a hard worker there.
True.
Yeah, it's a solid one. I think my favorite is probably Jack Hammer. I think that's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's not
D-Jobin
funny.
guy.
Sorry, B-Jobin, D-Jobin?
D-Jobin.
I'm wondering who's got the chutzpah to follow up with the next in the line and be F Jobin.
BF Jobin.
Do you
skip the letter there?
Do you know the alphabet, sir?
No.
Okay.
I mean,
well, I will teach you
the
today.
letter
There
F.
is M. M is the next letter. A B C D M F G.
I was assuming there had to have been, some type of Jobin who had left the family in there. We skipped.
Yeah, that's the newer, isn't it?
Sure.
Didn't think we
Probably his sister or something.
were gonna bring it up. Family laundry.
They don't do laundry. They're goalies.
Yeah, our next pick on the clock is pick 31 with
And it's
Kelowna.
ready to go.
And they will be selecting with the 31st pick Tim Koch, Matty Peeps, another first-gen user. Right winger focused on puck handling and hitting. Weakness is screening, but I don't think wingers worry about screening too much the way the sim works. And face-offs. He's actually got some points in face-offs as a winger. So I don't know if that's a weakness, but more of like a small asset, actually. Kind of an interesting build, I think, though. And maybe the Coke will make him play better.
Yeah, I always like to see how people have it just a little bit in face-offs, outside of centers, just because, you never know with power plays, penalty kills, how things are gonna shake out, and how sometimes FHM does weird things, and so win an important face-off and late in the game Your winger got thrown in there. Never know.
And it doesn't even cost that much TPE to just,
Yeah, I think like
toss
one
a
or
couple
two.
points in there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's Tim Koch going to Kelowna at 31. And Carolina is now back-to-back at 32 and 33.
B2B. So I think maybe what we'll do here, since we have the same background, is we'll talk about pick number 32, and then I'll just switch the text over on the card.
Sure.
Make it so there's so much anticipation.
I don't really know what you mean.
Neither of these picks is divisible by 7, so I'm sure he's upset about that.
Yeah, I mean,
You
I
can
feel
either
like he was
trade
trying to trade them to get them like by a number divisible by 7, but there was no trade partner. For which we have to blame Patty, of course.
I'm just noticing it, but I'm sure I can, on behalf of both Newt and Flu, can point out that it should be yum, not yuck.
Does it say
Not
yuck?
Yum here. It does say yuck at 35.
Yeah, I think there are some people who need their yum yucked anyway, so yuck is probably appropriate.
See if I can make a change without breaking Seven's thing.
We do not yuck yums here.
I mean, we might.
Listen,
But either way, the picks
you
are
were
in.
the JJM chat enough, you would see the amount of weird feet things that get posted. You would know.
Colon, oh no, colon. But at 32, the Carolina Kraken are selecting goaltender Adam Perpich. There's no vowel in between there, and that's kind of annoying. But that's Rich, a recreate. I'm a big Rich fan. I think Rich is a great guy. He's funny, good to talk to. Always a nice guy. Definitely a bit of a nerd as well, which I like. But I've always liked talking to Rich anytime we've chatted. He's a good guy for sure. But he's a goalie, so stock down.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see with the new engine. I have been told that at least somewhat goalies and therefore goalie TPE matter. So,
Yes.
we might be into the era of goalies.
If you want to just shoot that in a DM to Ramanaman and just see how excited he gets, then he can blame you if it doesn't actually happen, and it's not on my head. I'd appreciate that.
Hey, I didn't. I'm only JHO, all right.
Yeah, I'm the one that swings the hammer, I guess. But
Yell at Patty
next pick
if
is
it goes
in,
wrong.
and we are ready.
Yeah, and at 33, the Kraken selecting again are taking Goonie Tunes. User Neg77 or recreate. And there it is. Our fighting build. 15 fighting, 15 aggression. We have our enforcer. Yeah.
We'll be
Best
spending a lot of time in the box.
best pick in the draft. Indisputable. Just you got all this talent at Carolina you've drafted. You need someone to protect them. You bring in the Goonie Tunes. Just exactly what they needed. 100%.
That's a tough one to get just your face punched in and then realize the person's name was Goonie Tunes.
Fantastic name for it.
salt.
Forgot to hit this button here. Sorry, Negs. But
Yeah.
not really.
I know it's the wrong cartoon, but I can just imagine just like getting your butt beat and then just hear gosh. They go to the penalty box.
But the next pick for Regina is in. Seems like it's loaded on my side.
Yeah, so the Regina Elk at 34 will be taking, I'm going to butcher this, Johan Norgard.
I'm good.
That's more than I would have done.
I was just gonna say we haven't really had any name butchering so far.
Yeah, it's because we don't have someone from the south of America doing the cast. But yeah, that's DJ Conrad as a first gen. Focused on acceleration and shooting accuracy, so likely a offensive-minded defenseman. Something I can respect for sure. I love offensive defensemen. I made one myself. Liking the build. I'm hoping he's going to pan out well in Regina, and we're going to see some new top-tier defensemen coming out of the J.
Definitely a position the league needs more of right now.
Yeah,
Norwegian?
defense is in big demand for sure.
Alright. Just loading up the next
Yeah.
card here. And we should be good to go.
Okay. Yeah, at pick number 36, we have another goaltender. Oh, sorry, pick 35. Yeah, we have, my apologies, the Yuck taking Joel Eriksson, first-gen user, Mr. Clank, left defenseman, focused heavily on defensive read and passings, getting the puck in their own zone and making that solid breakup pass. I like the build composition. I think Noof is going to be able to, Noof and Fluer are two good guys to be able to help first-gen users learn and get excited for the league and help show them the ropes. I think it's going to be a good fit.
Yeah, definitely. I think, Yum is a really good team to go to as a first-gen user. You got really good GM there. Brand new team, kind of, building their own new identity and getting to be a part of that. I think it's a really good opportunity, so.
Definitely one of the better rebrands out there as well. And I only say that because Malamute's Huskies go very well together.
Just look at the cute little Mountaineers. They're so good.
But our next card is just about in and ready to go. Locked and loaded.
Next up, we have, I think it's the main timber again, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Exclamation chop, everybody. But they will be selecting shortly.
Should be up and ready to go.
Excellent. Yeah, so they will be taking goaltender Lachlan Moon. User Delirium, or Delirium, recreate. His last player was Daniil Nikiforov, who had some excellent point scoring seasons. Probably, a bit of an early retirement. We'll call it, knee injuries, because what else is it ever in hockey that ends a top offensive player early? And comes back to make
Matt Cook.
True enough. Comes back to make a goalie. Lots of goalies coming in lately, but there's always a need for top ones on good teams, and I think he'll likely be one of those top goalies moving forward for sure.
Another strong user. I think probably fits in the category of power user. But yeah, I think it's, probably being a goalie probably lowered his stock a little bit just because at this point most teams are pretty well stocked. I think everyone's got a starter at a minimum, but still some teams looking for a good backup, and then with the 4 seasons, there's teams who are getting ready to lose them. So I think this is a really good grab here by Maine.
Do we need capital to come in here?
Oh, do we want to grab for this?
What am I
Get him
missing?
real quick.
Oh my god, well, would you look at that?
If anyone's wondering about what it is we are gossiping about, we do have our first trade. We're gonna see if we can get the
The
commissioner
the
himself.
commissioner's he's a bit camera shy apparently. But we do have a trade to announce. Did you want to go ahead and announce it, Brick?
Yeah, I can go down. Let me get pulled up here. Place. All right. So the Newfoundland Berserkers trade the 37th overall pick to the Anchorage Armada for a season 68 third pick.
Yeah.
The Anchorage Armada are back on the clock.
And the pick is in. Just
And-
like that.
Excellent. Yeah, with pick 37, the Anchorage Armada will be selecting August von Hecht, Captain Squall, recreate another goaltender with a very heavy positioning focus. I've heard great things about this user as well. I don't think I've ever had a an actual conversation with them, but I've heard good things. This run on goalies, teams are seeing solid users making goalies, and the value of position might not be there, but the user is too hard to pass up at this point. Is how I'm feeling. And I think it's a good pick for them at this point.
Yeah, great user. I shared a Czechia locker room with them, so really really solid user as far as locker room goes. But yeah, kind of same thing as with Delir. I kind of said, unfortunately, just being a goalie does sometimes lower your stock a little bit, but can't put a value on having a solid user in the locker room.
Absolutely, one of those voices that really knows, the ins and outs of the league. But looks like Colorado's on the clock, and you can stop the clock because the pick is in.
Excellent. At pick 38, the Colorado Raptors will be selecting Max Hoshi, first-gen user Geekies. He's got a heavy focus on hitting and screening. It's kind of like a modern-day power forward, I guess, which I love. I think it could be interesting to see how it works in the sim. Playing right wing. I'm excited. I just like this build concept on the two stats we see alone. And a 5 in shooting accuracy for a forward, I think is fantastic. I really want this to work. I know almost nothing about what the build is about. I want it to work.
I mean, it looks like just a nice, solid, net front presence kind of build. Getting in those dirty areas, win the puck.
It's kind of like a Thomas Holmstrom,
You know what they say? They doesn't care. They don't care how you score them, just how many. So.
But the next pick on the clock will be a Regina at 39.
Yep, we got Regina at 39, and the pick is in. We're ready.
At 39, the Regina, whatever they're called, are proud to select Elk, Rod Cocker, left defenseman, Austin 623, recreate. Focused on checking defensive reads, so kind of a safe defensive-minded defenseman. But not very high hitting, so more of a positional focus. I like the build idea, I like the diversity we've had in this draft. There's been a lot of different kind of individuals with an array of builds, even a fighter so far. So I'm enjoying that. There's a lot of options for the way people are building, and excited to see how they turn out.
Yeah, I'm not sure which user posted the media, but I believe Rod Cocker did win their top overall pick for name draft.
Yeah, that would have been Coiler who wrote it, and again, there's some users who are definitely snubbed in that. I think Tommy Toughnuts, Tim Koch, Daniel Swift. Like there's some people who could have been up in contention. Gaston Legume, good French name, but what can you do? It's the media's rigged and controlled.
Can't deny it though. That's just solid name in Rod Cocker.
Rod Cocker. It feels a little redundant. You get the Rod and the Cocker. Got to mix it up at some point. But it's not bad. It's a solid name.
Sounds like a bayonet or something like that.
Yeah.
If you ask me.
And we have another trade to announce. Did you want to get us at pick 40 here, Brick?
Yes. Pull that up. Here we go. The Newfoundland Berserkers, again, will be trading pick 40 overall to Detroit, the Falcons, for the 48th and 60th pick this draft. 40, 48, and 60.
It sounds like Newfoundland's moving back to get some assets here. They need a bit of depth after trading that pick for a third next season.
And Detroit must have their eyes on somebody. Probably maybe two somebodies without having another pick at 42. So they know who they want, and they seem to be going for them.
You can announce that somebody.
And Detroit is proud to select at pick 40. Again, another name snub, if we're being honest. Cobb Corning. User Stein, a first gen. Left defenseman who's got a puck handling and checking focus, which I think is pretty awesome. Fantastic name, though, Cobb Corning. I'm a big fan of that. Uh,
Can't deny that one. That's just
yeah,
that's A tier.
it's got to be a first or second round pick in the SHL draft when they get there. I think just name alone.
I always agree with something like that. I believe he plays a similar personality in the ISFL, um, where I am super inactive at this point.
Well, I gotta imagine he's from somewhere like Wisconsin or something, and just a good farm boy, big lad.
I mean, I love corn.
Yeah, everyone loves corn, but like
If
if your name is Cobb Corning, you're a corn farmer. That is what it is.
Right on the cap.
And for the record, canned corn is garbage. On the cob or not at all.
That's all Kenny's eating for this Thanksgiving. And that puts Regina back on the
Personally,
clock
my
here.
favorite kind of corn is popped.
You just like butter.
That's true. I do just like butter. I will if they. I was gonna say if they just sold the butter, I would just drink that straight out of the bag, but they do sell that, and I don't do that, so I guess I'm wrong.
I'm pretty sure it's free as long as you buy a popcorn at the theater.
You would do that, but you'd feel worse about it if you did it that way, so you don't.
Right.
At that point, you won't even have time to watch the movie.
But like if I had just like magic, and I could just separate the butter out of the bag and then just eat it, and I probably would do.
If you wouldn't judge yourself doing it.
I don't care.
Yeah. But so we have Quebec on the clock, splitting the two Detroit picks here.
Ring, 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 ring. What's that? We have another trade.
Sports Center update. What is it, Brick?
The Quebec City Citadels will be trading the 41st overall pick to the Regina Elk for a Season 67 Regina Force. 41 for Season 67 Regina Force.
And with that, that puts the Elk on the clock.
And the Elk are ready to go.
At pick 41, the Regina Elk select Eric Vasilijevs. It's a Latvian name. I don't know how to pronounce it.
It's Latvian.
It's got a weird L and a J connected with a V in there. It's Latvian. I'll put money on it. The user is Joe Jeff, a first-gen user. He's recently put out like some very short media, but just trying to get noticed. And he seems like a guy who's really excited for it, and if you can give him some good direction and help him learn, he'd be a great pick at this point of the draft, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely seems to have the passion. A lot of times it's a first-time user. I'm not sure if it's his first sim league or not, but it's much less intuitive than a lot of the, once you've been here for a while, you kind of forget, but especially if you've never been on a forum before, which most people haven't.
Yeah, if it's your first day on the internet, it can be a bit overwhelming.
It always feels like my first day on the internet.
That's what happens when you're
I'm in my
95.
20s and have any forum experience before the SHL is a miracle.
I think the SHL was probably my first forum too, but I joined a lot earlier. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a great pick for Regina, and if they can mix that passion with some know-how, he's gonna be a very great pick for them. And with that, it puts the Detroit Falcons back on the clock.
And we should be ready to go.
At pick 42,
Moving right along here.
the Falcons select Trap Zelenok, Trappy Poppy, a first-gen user. Left wing who focuses on offensive repositioning. Not much of a puck handler, which is a bit of a surprise for an offensively minded forward. But interesting build. We'll see how it works. Detroit seems to be targeting a lot of first gens this draft. And I think that's a good strategy for him. Help use that top-end talent to introduce some new talent in the league and help get them adjusted.
Yeah, definitely. I think when you got that strength in your team already, being able to bring in those new users is a really good, I think, way to kind of plan for the future.
One of those discussions I know a lot of people have in their war rooms when drafting. It's like, what do you do? Do you take the solid earner, or do you gamble on a new create and try to rustle up a new little something in your locker room.
You know, it also does feel like it depends on the user, right? Like if you see someone who's coming to the draft, they've already written some media, like the guy who went, fourth overall, Jack Emery, he already wrote one of his deep dives. They seem excited. They're going. You have a conversation with them, and it really does depend on the user. Recreates are generally safer, but there's a lot of upside in the intangible side for bringing a new gen user into your team, and just kind of getting that new blood in your locker room, and helping that person's experience first time in the league. Juniors is generally like one of if not the most exciting times of the league. Just making it great for them. It's just a great feeling as a JGM.
For sure.
But we're sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, absolutely, couldn't be more right there.
But we are at pick 43 with the Vancouver Whalers on the clock.
And they are ready to go.
Another all-name team individual at pick 43. The Whalers are selecting Gaston Legume, first-gen user, Converse Falls 1. He's a left winger who's strong at getting open and puck handling, so an offensively minded individual. Just a fan of that name. Very French. Gaston the vegetable. 10 out of 10.
Gaston the vegetable.
Yeah. What can you say? Fantastic name.
But that will put Anchorage back on the clock.
I will say, it just does make me, on a personal note, make my heart happy seeing that we're into the 4th round of the J Draft and we're still getting active users picked.
And no one's passed yet.
No.
I think, initial count coming into the draft, I think had in the 70s as far as eligible people to be drafted, and in the around 50-ish number for, who actually seemed active, hadn't fizzled out, so really excited to see it.
Yep. And with that, Anchorage's pick is in.
Yeah, at pick 44, Anchorage will be selecting Dusty Rhodes, recreate Barnabas Collins. This user's been around for a fair amount of time. I think they've largely been in the J, but I might be remembering wrong. I am an old person, so do not mock the elderly. Focusing on fighting again and screening. So we got 2 enforcers in the draft. He's got a 13 in fighting, so he is going to get beat up a little bit by the other fighter, Goonie Tunes. But we're getting some aggression coming back to the J, some old school hockey. Anchorage out here looking to beat up the other team and use their physical prowess to get the win.
And this user, I'm a little bit, kind of surprised to see him kind of end up down this low. A lot of site history, kind of just looking at their profile real quick, multiple Challenge Cup and 4-star Cup wins, 5-star or 5-year badge, plenty, 12 million in the bank account. So just really solid user. So I think this is kind of officially kind of in the diamond in the rough territory. So who doesn't love a fighter?
I mean, so this is a hot take, but I think fighting in hockey is the most pointless thing. Because if you want to see a good fight, watch someone whose whole job is to fight. Like a hockey fight is just like someone really bad at fighting on skates, fighting someone else who's really bad at fighting but also on skates.
You say that, but the last UFC main event was the biggest fucking snore fest I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, yeah, but technically it was a masterpiece. Sure. I guess if blood is what you're looking for, hockey fights, they do have that. It is
blood is what everyone is looking for.
I don't know. I like to see people who know what they're doing. Not that I know that they know what they're doing, but I like being told that they know what they're doing.
Listen, the Romans had it right in the Colosseum, Everyone loves a little bit of blood sport.
That's fair. Did we announce the trade?
Speaking of Bloodsport, there's a trade to announce.
Yes, there is. With their 45th overall pick, the Detroit Falcons are trading said pick to the St. Louis Scarecrows for a Season 69 STL 4th. 45th for Season 69, St. Louis 4th.
Gotta love the value on those Season 69 picks. I mean, come on.
Thing to keep in mind, though, this is a little nudge for the JGMs out there who I'm sure are aware of it, but the S69 class will be the S68 J Draft. And then they will be the S69s for the S69 SHL Draft. Not to say that the Season 69 J Draft will not be a big one, but
It's a garbage draft. You ruin it. Terrible trade, Detroit. Fire Vaxlar. Bring back G. But that does put St. Louis on the clock. And at pick 45, St. Louis will be picking Pepega Paquette. Reaper comes Pepega Aim. Reaper come Pepega Aim. A recreate, left winger, focusing on screening and getting open, which seems kind of, I don't know, maybe it'll play on the sim weirdly, but getting open and screening seems kind of contradictory, because screening is going right in the paint where the defender is going to be. Getting open is getting the hell away from the paint and finding open space. But
both though, you're gonna really confuse them because you're gonna be all up in their face, really blocking them, really trying to get in the goalie's way. Then just suddenly they're gone.
I mean, yeah, maybe it's like he goes invisible at some point or something.
Yeah, they're essentially teleporting.
Yeah, it's this might be the new cheat. Is this build here? Did Hamilton give him some advice? Anybody? Can we get Halsey on the? We can't get Halsey on the phone. Okay. But yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. But could be a bit of a cheat code here, late in the draft.
We shall see how it goes.
But Vancouver is on the clock with pick 46.
All right, it should be loading. It looks like it's in.
At pick 46, we're going to have a Nikel fitted, not to be confused with Michael, which is Premier Bromanov's recreate. He created, I think, today. Several recreates just decided to recreate today.
Right on time, of course.
Yeah, just to, mess with your mock drafts and make you feel bad. But he's focused on strength and offensive read, with screening getting open at 10 as a weakness. So he seems like an all-around really balanced kind of build. I've heard of legends of Michael fitted. I don't really know who he was, but I've heard he's had some great media, and maybe Nikel's gonna follow in those footsteps.
Michael Fitted happens to be one of the greatest of all time players over in Tampa Bay, and yesterday we were discussing because Michael Fitted did retire. He gets to play out this last season, the SHL for Tampa, of course, and I guess he just slapped on one of those fake little mustaches, those glasses, and walked back right in the room as Nikel.
It is good to
Almost
see.
Like he never left.
It is good to see Romanov back recreating. Took a bit of a break. So
yeah, definitely one of my favorite users around the league that
sure.
I've had the pleasure of interacting with since I was traded to Tampa.
We have a lot of
way
active
back
users
when.
when it comes to Discord, but I mean, there's not many who are more active on the site. There's like a solid 50% chance you're going to see a Romanov comment.
He's always one of the guys out there trying just to help other people and do what he can to make the league a better place. And I think he does a great job at that.
Yeah, at a long-time Tampa Bay GM as well, I think. Stepped down recently, but a lot of their success can be tied to his tenure as well, for sure.
Yeah, he was one of the guys that was in the locker room when I joined. Still won't leave.
Can't kick him out. Can't take a hint.
Don't want to kick him out, but
yeah. Our next pick is pick 47. We do have the Carolina Kraken back on the clock.
And they're ready to go.
At 47, the Carolina Kraken will be selecting Tommy Tough Nuts, user Tugboat, first gen. A lefty focused on passing and puck handling. So more of that good offensive defenseman showing up, or two-way D potentially. Yeah, Great name, great username, Tugboat. I like, Tugboat's a solid username. I'm a big fan of it. I think he's got a good potential Hall of Fame career ahead of him. I'm calling it now.
Good thing these streams save.
Exactly.
Remind me in 2 years.
But yeah, next on the clock, we do have the Newfoundland Berserkers with their first trade down selection at pick 48.
And the pick should be in and ready to go.
For the record, this user has a French last name, and I am letting Patty know that he would pronounce it wrong. It's Louis Perrault. Win Savan, first-gen user. Strengths are getting open and offensive read. Weaknesses are checking defense. It's a left defenseman. So again, that kind of offensive defenseman build. Getting open and offensive read, kind of seems like a really interesting maybe power play mechanic or offensive defenseman style. I'm curious to see how it'll work out, especially if they're updating it and trying to maintain that focus on those skills. Yeah, I'm a fan of the build so far. Don't really know the user yet, but hope to see some great things.
Definitely. If there's any team who can, kind of take a player and mold them into stardom, it's Newfoundland. So.
Well, I mean, he is following in some truly legendary footsteps of offensive defensemen. The two highest all-time scoring SMJHL defensemen in the FHM era are both Newfoundland Berserkers. So it's they've both left recently, so it's a tall task to fill those shoes for sure. But next on the clock, we have pick 49. The Whalers are back with their third selection in the fourth round.
The pick is in.
Clearly fans of the fourth round, the Vancouver Whalers selected Bleed Blue 52, user Gray Rosie, goaltender, to recreate. I'm just going to wager a guess, also a Leaf fan. Focus on reflexes and positioning.
You would be wrong.
I'd be wrong. What kind of blue
Green.
are they bleeding?
Blues.
Rangers blue.
I believe it's St. Louis Blues.
It is the St. Louis Blues. In their PFP, they do have a picture of
Wow.
the St. Louis skyline.
So, I mean,
It's
that's...
also a Rangers saying, which made me think at first, too. Well, it's really maybe the Giants, the Rangers, a bunch of New York teams all bleed blue.
Well,
Well, I mean, as long as they're not Leaf fans, that's a big plus in my eyes, I think. So definitely a better pick than I originally would have thought, just by that nature. But, a goaltender, if they're active, getting a goalie this late, pretty good. You always need a backup or a starter. I don't know what Vancouver's goalie situation is looking like. But, always good to see new users coming in, and especially when they're not Leaf fans.
Would like to take this time to officially ask that the Vancouver Whalers bring back Brass Bonanza.
Yeah, do that. I don't know what it is, but it sounds fun.
And with that introduction music, the next pick is in.
Next on the clock, we have pick number 50 to the main timber. And they are selecting Benjamin DeVito, Dallas Rouge, first-gen user. Another fighting user, third this draft, with 15 fighting, 13 strength. I believe it's someone's brother in this draft. I forget who it is, but they made a post that they went with the username they suggested and said it was their brother or friend or something. Clearly teams are taking these users because they don't want to get bullied. And, hopefully it'll work for them. No one wants to get beat up by Tom Wilson.
Heard from me, but maybe fighting is the new meta in FHM 8.
Coming straight from Ranger Jace, the Simmer God himself. Definitely some testies involved there. Please ban him. But fighting the new meta confirmed.
All 4 of my hours in FHM 8 that I left open at work.
You could have a duplicate copy.
I'm not that rich.
But next
I
up...
do share my Steam account, so it might not be all my 4 hours.
Oh, so someone accidentally went on your Steam account and did a test sim? Or 300?
We're just confirmed to be test simming and a multi.
Oh, Ranger, you're just adding it on here.
This is fun.
Getting banned. This is a good time.
Yep, live on stream.
You do need more all-season drama.
I know, right?
We need a hashtag on Twitter, ban Ranger.
Can I get a hashtag ban Ranger in the chat, please?
You definitely can, but I'm not going to pay you for them.
He's going to go through our tweets after this, make sure we didn't tweet with ban Ranger. But
I'll pay you double.
double for ban Ranger. Interesting. But pick 51 to St. Louis. Pick is in. And St. Louis selected my dinner tonight, Manny Pizza. Mr. Joey, a first-gen user, is center. Focused on face-offs and offensive read, which is kind of interesting because usually when you see a guy focus on face-offs specifically, they're more of a defensive player trying to make sure they can win that defensive draw. But they got that mix going where they want to make sure they win that offensive draw, I guess, and also be good at being the offensive end, which I think is a pretty unique style for sure.
Question is, where are you getting the pizza from?
So I live in Toronto. They have a place. There's like this pizza reviewer that came. I don't really know him that well, but he said it was like a good pizza. I got it today. It was not a good pizza. It was kind of tasted like a frozen pizza with a fancy crust. I was very disappointed. Yeah.
If you ever make your way down to New York, I'll tell you where to go for pizza.
So the place is called North of Brooklyn. It was supposed to be New York style pizza. And now I'm just sus on New York as a whole because I bought this pizza and was disappointed. So, New York.
Queens
I
pizza, I guess.
Gotta be
The rule
better.
of thumb is, if you're getting any city-style pizza and it's not from the actual city, it's probably going to be garbage.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's a valid point.
Buy up frozen pizzas from Brooklyn and just send them back to you.
I honestly would not be surprised. It was very disappointing. But I don't
Shout
know.
out to Mod Pizza.
People talk about this pizza all the time like it's the greatest thing that ever happened, and it's not. So if you ever go to Toronto, North of Brooklyn Pizza, overrated.
HFO shoots hard on North of Brooklyn or whatever the hell it's called.
And Ranger Jace being a multi. But pick 52 is the Colorado Raptors on the clock.
I secretly have like 11 league jobs, not my current 6.
I thought you were going to say your current 10.
It's close.
Ranger Jace actually makes up about 90% of the users in the league.
It's not surprising.
That's how many 4-star and challenge cups I've actually won.
I mean, I hadn't won a 4-star cup until 3 seasons ago, and I've been here since season 4 or so.
Imagine winning things.
It took me 25 seasons to win a cup, so you'll get there maybe.
I do got my WJC gold.
No one cares about that. IHF's dead.
That's true.
I said it, Artie. I said it.
We're coming back. We're working on it. And by
We
we,
got
I
cool
mean
logos now.
But HFFO, you want to switch back, and I will toss up the next card?
Heck yes,
I did switch back then. Oh, I did not. Jeez. That is on me.
Oh, the first mistake of the draft. There have been none before that.
Yeah, not even. I mean, we did say Kyle's name was Kyle, and for the record, it still is Kyle, but
Not Kyle.
it's Kyle.
Jimmy, we're going to need you to come on stream. And
Jimmy's
tell us
name
what-
isn't even Jimmy, so, like, I can call him Kyle if his name isn't Kyle. That feels valid to me. That's my logic.
I mean, that's fair. But we are ready to go.
At pick 52, the Colorado Raptors are pleased to select Ray Jetson, Padre and a Recreate. And if they're anything like the real Jetsons, I sense some futuristic, cutting edge build coming in to show us the new meta with getting open and puck handling. Wait, that's the current meta.
This user is currently playing FHM 10.
Yeah, absolutely. FHM 69 for sure.
The prophecy has come true, though. Earlier in the draft, we did mention, when I was drafted, that there was a user who specifically wanted to play with them and go to the same team, and reveal now, I think, that was Quadrian, so looks like they got their wish, and so, hey, happy user, happy us.
That'll be good for them for sure. And we do have the... every time I see MBB, I think North Bay, and it messes me up, but it's the Nevada Battle Board on the clock.
Pick is in.
The Nevada Battleborn are pleased to select Foxy. This is just Foxy. This is Samsung Virtual Assistant, or is this? No, it's they have a Discord name. I know their Discord name. I talked about it earlier. It's somebody. They're a recreate. Big anime fan, I think. They focus on acceleration and agility, so the physicals being focused here, and yeah, I think they'll like them in Nevada.
I believe they are the resident weeb of the SHL.
Yeah.
But they're a highly active user. As far as a power user. So, good grab here.
Power weeb is
Power
how
weeb
we describe it.
Dabble.
has the power
You know.
of God and anime on his side.
And what can beat those? But 54, we do have the main timber on the clock.
The pick is in.
On the main timber are pleased to select what might be dinner tomorrow if we're feeling fancy. Taco salad. A left wing first gen by the username No Skills. Focus on getting open and screening again. See, it's a cheat code. They know. They've tested the sim. It's a known thing. This is happening. I don't know. Like we found the meta. It's fighting and getting open and screening together. If you're not taking note of this, your team's going to be behind.
Hopefully the username not indicative of the actual player.
Well, you don't need skills when you're cheating.
That's true.
But pick 55 by Quebec City will be passed.
Yes, as Ace did spoil on there.
Yeah, it's our
54
first
machine.
pass of the draft. So that puts at 56 the Vancouver Whalers on the clock. They'll also be back-to-back at 57 as well.
Is in.
Yeah,
Hey, NA was already drafted.
Who?
NA.
Oh yeah, NA's pretty good. My favorite user. But at
Who got drafted today?
pick 56, the pick will be Hans Mueller, or Malure? Is this a mistype on his end, or, like, I need to know now. This is going to frustrate me.
In the chat is spelled the same way it is on the stream here.
Yeah, but did Vancouver spell it wrong, or did... Okay, regardless, the user is Child of the King. That's a first-gen user. With a heavy focus on passing, with 15 in passing and 11 strength.
No, they spelled it right.
But yeah, this I feel like they were trying to mess with someone, and they did, and it was me, and they did it successfully. So if that's what you're going for, good job.
Congrats on the successful career already.
And Vancouver will be passing with that the first pick of the 5th round, pick 57.
And that brings us back to Anchorage.
Yeah, the Anchorage Armada are back on the clock with pick 58.
And the pick is in as soon as we are ready.
Yeah, pick 58, the Anchorage ships are selecting John Manginelli, user OJim, first gen. 15 getting open and 10 passing, so, really focused on, finding the soft spots of the defense. Kind of a low screening of puck handling, which is interesting for a forward. The puck handling especially, but definitely we'll have to wait and see how this build works. Strong name. I'm liking the fit. Hopefully they're still active. I don't know how the activity is at this point of the draft.
Is that an Italian name? I need more Italians. Don't see a lot of them in the SHL.
For sure, yeah. And next on the clock will be pick 59, and that will be going to the Kelowna Knights.
And short of the league's favorite number. And the pick is in and we are ready to go.
At pick 59, the Kelowna Knights are pleased to select Emil Lindenberg, at Great Gen 2, a first gen. For those who don't know, a Gen 2 is a class of penguin.
Good learned.
Yeah.
Also something you should install.
But they're focused on passing and puck handling as a left winger. It's kind of that playmaking left wing. Uh, usually you see the playmakers at the center, but we've seen an increasing amount of people who are liking to pass from the wings, which is good if you know some center snipers, or always good to have a person good at passing the puck. But that will put the Newfoundland Berserkers on the clock with pick 60. Oh, I'll have to change that. There we go.
And it's loading, and we got green check marks across the board.
At pick 16, the Newfoundland Berserkers are proud to select Nate D-O-double-G. Nate Dog. First gen user Nate_L_DOGG. A centerman who's good at getting open and puck handling. Those are some good traits. You might think they might be good at shooting as well, which I imagine is probably one of their secondary strengths. But an interesting build and username for a team that definitely did need some depth, getting this player around 60.
I do know for a fact that Patty does have a soft spot for dogs, so maybe that did influence his pick here, but can't be 100% sure.
I did ask Patty in a GM chat if he, because he was trying to roast the GM chat by saying none of us had ever seen outside by showing outside. So I asked him if he had a friend, and he didn't have any real friends, so he just showed a picture of his dog, which I guess counts. But yeah.
No idea if this person is related to the D-O-double-G Snoop Dogg.
Well, you have to imagine. I mean, how many D-O-double-Gs are there? Not a very common last name.
At least
Nope.
2.
I mean, he's got a son that played college football.
That's a wonder, though. Will there create any drama with Dog being on a team whose logo has somebody wearing a wolf skin?
Well, I mean, there has long been a storied history of animosity between dogs and wolves. The wolves see the domesticated dogs as like anti-freedom lovers. It's similar to like the right wing left wing divide in America. It's a pretty noticeable animosity that's drawn between them. So I don't think they'll worry too much about a wolf skin.
Welcome, everybody. This draft was just a prelude to HFFO's TED Talk. You're not allowed to leave.
We've got you here, and no one's allowed to leave. Take a seat.
Unless you buy a timeshare.
This is pretty much what my podcasts sound like, by the way. Nice little plug here. Because I don't get paid enough, so listen to my podcast.
I'm sure we can do that after the 61st pick.
At pick 61, the Carolina Kraken are selecting Otter von Bismarck, not to be confused with the legendary German figure. The user Jackrim, a goaltender recreate, focus on quick reflexes and positioning. Teams getting their goalies late. Always good to find their guy later in the draft. And that will put the Regina Elk back on the clock.
I do like their little special eye they have in their name. Is there someone who's good with grammar? That's that might be called, but I don't.
Yeah, I don't know what that one is either.
Alright, and we should be good to go.
At pick 62, the Regina Elk are pleased to select Michael Skrisky. That was a bit tricky. Wait, what?
Huh?
Sir, this is the wrong pick.
Nope.
We'll redo this.
I think it is.
Yeah, we're at 62.
Yep, that is wrong.
You got it right in the tracker, but it was wrong on the draft card. Yeah, right defenseman Michael Skrisky. User Michael Siren is a right defenseman. Going to the Regina Elk at pick 62. At this point of the draft, you're really looking for people who are gonna break the mold and kind of surprise.
Alright, you can put that up now. It did not load properly when I typed in
Perfect. Yeah,
the name.
Some of the back end stuff happens. But yeah, he's a right
Your
defenseman
61
focused
picks
on.
in.
Yep, exactly. This is where we make mistakes because none of you are still watching. But yeah, he's a right defenseman focused on passing and offensive read. I think Cale Makar winning Defenseman of the Year and Conn Smythe is really bringing this offensive defenseman to the trend. Definitely spiking here, I'd say. I think it's a Cale Makar effect. But pick 63, the Malamutes will be passing, so Maine will be on the clock.
And we do have at least McCool and Rich still watching in the chat.
Well, he is going to win the cup. He has to see who he's
Still going to win
competing
a
against.
cup.
Alright. We should be good to go now with the next pick.
All right, the Maine Timber are pleased to select Southie, user Peter Sokolov, a recreate. Strengths are shooting accuracy and offensive read. So, finding that soft spot and getting the ability to put it in the back of the net, definitely a key thing to find late in the draft. And hopefully it'll be fitting the Maine Timber effectively.
Well said.
And at pick 65 and 66, we'll have St. Louis and Colorado passing their selections, which will leave pick 67, the Nevada Battleborn, on the clock.
Moving. We did this. We should be good to go with the next pick.
Okay, at pick 67, everyone's favorite annoying thing is going to be Baby Shark, a center by the username I'm a Knight Rider, a first-gen user who's focused on checking and screening. Sounds like a solid bottom six center kind of role. Focused on getting the puck, probably feeding it back, and then going to that front of the net to get the deflection or screen the goalie and getting it in.
It might be the kind of the your Sean Avery type, really just get under your skin.
Yeah, definitely a bit of an agitator for goalies, especially with the hand wave in the face. But good pick for Nevada here for sure. And that will leave us with the Newfoundland Berserkers back on the clock.
Alright, we should be good to go there as well.
At pick 68, the Newfoundland Berserkers select Ryanko Witunki, Porky Platypus, a first-gen left defenseman. Strengths are passing and offensive read, so that offensive defenseman has been a staple throughout the night. Definitely something that's spiked recently, and I think when people make defensemen, they want to focus on the more fun side, still getting points, and I can't blame them. I do the same thing, so something we're definitely seeing a lot of. But that will leave pick 69 on the clock for the Great Falls Grizzlies. Who will be the illustrious pick 69?
Quite the honor. Not all drafts get to 69 picks.
I mean, you know what they say. If you're not pick 1 or pick 69, you're last.
That's from the edited cut of Talladega Nights.
And with the league's favorite number, pick.
Yeah, they will be selecting Aw Crap, I Have the Puck. User CJ the M16. A center who's focusing on screening and getting open. You'd think they'd have 5 in puck handling, because that would make sense. But, I guess their weaknesses are hitting the position well. Solid player name. Really hoping that they're active, because that's a top tier name for sure. I'm a fan.
Yeah, for sure. I do think it'd be a little bit funnier if all their like you said, if anything puck related was a 5. But
they got a redistribution. They can fix things and make things right.
And sometimes you can't fully quite commit to the beam if you want an actual successful player, but.
Yeah, but we do have some passes here. 70 Detroit passing, Vancouver at 71 passing, Anchorage at 72 passing, and 73 Kelowna will also be passing.
Rich brings up a good point. Shouldn't getting open be a weakness? I think he's less getting open away from the defenders and more getting away from the puck. So he clearly does not want it.
Yeah, I mean, getting open is it doesn't mean they're necessarily going to pass to him, right? It just means he's open, but And generally you're not defended when you don't want the puck, right? Like if you're bad with it, they'll just let you be.
Yeah, it goes hand in hand.
The pick is in. We are, in fact, ready to go. We have 3 teams left still picking here.
Yeah, so at pick 74, the Great Falls Grizzlies are pleased to select Tero Pateri Palkanen? Palkanen? That, some
Yeah.
Finnish stuff going on here. This feels intentional with this many A's doing that. But the user is Vikeko, first-gen left defenseman, focused on shot blocking and passing. A good combination, probably a good two-way defenseman. Stops the pucks going in your net, good breakout and quarterbacking. I like it. I like the build. Don't like the name. It's annoying. You did that on purpose.
Well, it's only annoying because you have to say it.
That's true. But yeah, that will leave 75 is Carolina on the clock. The Kraken.
I just want to say that was the last pick of the draft for the Great Falls Grizzlies.
We are winding down here.
But the pick is in. We are ready to go.
The Carolina Kraken are pleased to select at pick 75 Andrew Ruda, user A Rudes, a first-gen right winger. Focused puck handling and shooting accuracy. If you're finding someone who's going to have any chance of being active and turning into a good user, you take a chance on them and see how it goes at this point. And hopefully they are and can turn into a good scoring user with these kind of stats.
Yeah, really kind of a no-lose situation, Worst case, they just, 155 IA, but, no harm, no foul. Hey, sometimes people do come back after a bit of an absence, so never know.
So, contrary to the draft board, I guess pick 82 is belonging to the Newfoundland Berserkers.
I can't believe you wouldn't get that.
But the last pick in the draft, Mr. Irrelevant, maybe hopefully soon becoming Mr. or Mrs. or them irrelevant, or them relevant, would be Joseph Malone Jr.
Should be loaded up and ready to go.
A centerman, first-gen user. Heavy focus on bravery and puck handling. Pretty interesting build. Hopefully they can come back. I think, seeing if bravery matters in the sim, this guy could be a walking example of that, and it'd be interesting to see for sure.
I don't know if I've ever actually seen bravery stat that high.
Me either. That's why it could be interesting. But that will bring us to the conclusion of the Season 66 SMJHL Draft. I do just want to thank Ranger Jace for doing the back-end stuff that would have drove me absolutely bananas, and Brick and Ranger for helping me from talking to myself the entire night.
Happy to do it. That was fun.
Everybody knows I still know how to copy and paste things.
Yeah.
So,
also, congrats to everyone
many
drafted
skills.
tonight. I hope you all enjoy where you get drafted, and you enjoy this site that we've been keeping going for 66 seasons and roughly about 12, 13 years. And just find a way to enjoy it and find your own way to contribute and have fun with it.
Definitely. Best of luck, and I'll plug the IIHF on the way out. Going into the I don't know if it starts tonight or tomorrow, but knockout round starting for the IIHF. I think WJC might have already had their start of their knockout. Definitely give it a watch if you're looking for some SHL content.
Absolutely. Go Finland. Do that.
Go check
women.
it out. It is the best of you.
Go Sweden.